I spent a long time trying to figure out a consistent way of gaining profit through trading. I managed to squeeze a couple percent here, a few dollars there, but nothing seemed to stick until I found out that the game is actually rigged against the traders. Instead, I started deving. I found a simple method that with a bit of soul, I have managed to dev coins and stack cash. This video is for educational purposes only. I am not a financial advisor. Your capital is still at risk. I'm just here to explain how the process works. Now, there is one more thing I wanted to look at before we got into the live demonstration, and that's just taking a look at some of the stories that unfold with these meme coins. Now, I'm taking a look at this chart here, and I'm seeing quite a sort of tumultuous and interesting thing that's happened here, because as you can see, you've got these two massive peaks over the course of this quite a long period of time here. So, that's already 2 days going into that mountain, and then, you're looking at, what's that, so nearly 3 days for the actual peak, and then there's another 3 days again until the actual peaks, these two here, come up again. And these are the only points where you're actually going to make any serious money. So what can we do to make sure that we end up making more money consistently without worrying about these pitfalls like those two there? Okay, now what you'll notice is a lot of these guys, the top traders, they will have really consistent P&Ls, and that's either because they know a dev or they are a dev. And that really is the thing that I realized that made me switch to this method. And this method uses a website called createcoin.fun. Now, createcoin.fun is a platform where you can launch your own coin with a little bit of Solana in a few seconds without needing to know how to code. There is no coding required. It says right there. What that means is we can just press a few buttons and then we will have launched our own coin. And that's fantastic, because when we launch our own coin, we have way more tools at our disposal to rake in cash from others. We don't have to rely on luck anymore. We can control everything. So one of the things we can control is what market we play on. Okay, now this is the pump market that we just saw there. And as you can see, the market caps are not great on the whole. 1k here, 2k there, and there are a few that break through, but there's so many things in the way on the pump market, including the amount of coins that get launched on it. Every time you launch a coin on pump, you have to compete with 10,000 brand new coins, as well as all the other ones that already exist. However, if we switch over to dynamic on Axiom, so we can see the Matora market, as you can see, coins go into the millions, hundreds of Ks, and in some cases even the billions. I've seen billions plenty of times on here, but for the most part today it's looking like in the millions and hundreds of K. Now back to createcoin.fun. So that uses the Matora market that I mentioned earlier. So we've got just over $100 in the Phantom wallet, so that's roughly the amount of money that you will need in order to make this method work. So we'll connect the wallet up using the connect wallet button there. Very simple, very easy so far. Now when it comes to launching your own coin, what you would do is you would come up with a name, a symbol, and an image, and that can be whatever the hell you want, doesn't really matter. I'm bringing this up just because that's how the site would normally work, but that's not what we are going to do today, because coming up with a coin of your own requires, again, more of that luck, and we're trying to remove luck from the equation. So let's copy the trending coins on pump. So that's what this does. The copy trending page finds the coins on pump that are doing well. So what that means is they have already broken through in a market that is somewhat a bit more rigged against them than the Matora market would be. So what we're going to do is we're going to take those coins and we're going to copy them over to Matora, where those better market conditions can work in our favor. So you can see how the elements of this method start to compound on top of each other. They play along with each other's strengths, and this is fantastic. So you've got names, you've got market caps, and you've got when they were last paired. You can refresh if you're not happy with the ones that you've been given. And, for the sake of this method, we could pick any one of these. If you want to do a more long haul coin, then I would suggest taking more factor of the, the market caps and things. So we're going to pick memes into money, because that's what this is. It's just a meme, okay? Every time you pick a coin, you're going to get request blocked. So you need to make sure you hit proceed, confirm, and tick the box and confirm again. This is a standard procedure as part of this method, so I do this all the time, so don't worry about that. So we have got a successfully created token. Now, this is where we need to create our liquidity pool. So what does that mean? That means putting a bit of soul into the coin to give it an initial investment and get it on the market. All right, so we're going to create a liquidity pool. The only thing we have to worry about on this page is simply the amount of soul. I know we've got the amount of tokens and the name and everything else, but don't worry about that. Simply put in the amount of soul. I typically put in 0.2 soul per coin. So that has been a successful amount for me. You can try other amounts. You can go a little bit higher, a little bit lower. I wouldn't go anywhere higher than 1 soul, just because your overheads are going to be way too big. So then we are going to create our pool here, our pool here. And we've done that. We are now going to be live in a few moments. Okay. There's just one more step we need to get through. So we can see here, we've got the estimated value at just under $15. We've got the pooled soul, and we've got the amount of tokens. We will have a look at this later, but first we are going to click on this lightning bolt. The lightning bolt lets us boost our token. So when we boost our token, what that means is we are going to be kicked to the top of Dex Screener's trending list for 1 hour. So think about those compounding elements, right? So we have got a token that's already doing well on pump. We are then moving it over to a better market, and we are boosting it to be seen by all the trend chasers first. Now, this does cost us 0.25 Sol, but this will be made back and then some. Okay, so we got to make sure that we hit boost. This is what makes the method tick. All right, hit the boost, and then we are good to go. And soon enough, we will have a look on Dex Screener. Okay, so we'll click on that now. Sorry, just putting it into full screen. There we are. Right, so now we are here and we are looking at all of these new things coming in. Here is our coin here, and it's live. So we've got our market cap here. We've got 92 traders already, nearly 100 traders. That's fantastic. Just gone over 100 traders. So as you can see, the coin is really hot immediately, and that is because of that boost. Otherwise, we'd have to be waiting around for people to find our coin a bit more organically, and we don't want to do that because that requires luck. I told you I'm removing luck from this equation. Now, I make money with these videos, and you could be in with a chance of winning half of what I make for this video if you like, subscribe, and leave a comment. I will put you in a prize draw. You could win half of what I make. So we are back on createcoin.fun. We are going to have a look, see how much our estimated value has gone up to. We started at just under 15, and now we are going to see the transformative effects of this process. And as you see, we haven't been running for very long. So let's see how much money we've made in not very much time. So we are now looking at 1.49k. Guys, we have, I believe, that is 100x our initial investment. Look at that. Okay, so yeah, you can see there we started with 0.2 Sol and we've nearly got 20 Sol. So that is brilliant. What a fantastic result this has been. We are going to hit the minus button. We're going to pull all that liquidity. All that money is going to go straight into our pocket. Let's make sure we do that. And once you've hit confirm, it's as easy as that, guys. A really simple method that doesn't take too long. Obviously, I'm taking a bit longer than you would because I'm having to demonstrate all the individual parts. But, you know, once you make your choices really quickly, you'll be making that money in no time. Speaking of, let's have a look. Started at 100, 1,374. Thanks for watching, guys. You really have to get on this method and start making this money quick.